Hey, good morning, everyone. How's it going today? Coach Alvarez here, back at you with another episode, Coffee with Coach. It's Friday. Hope everyone's up, making some moves, making some things happen. Got the mind in the right place, but if you don't, let's put it in the right place. So, today, again, just going through my normal Friday routine. Get up a little earlier, start cleaning the house a little bit, start making some moves. Like I said, on Fridays, I get home from training and everything like that. I want to just relax and not have to clean, so I start doing those things. Obviously clean up during the week, but Friday's a little bit deep cleaning. But anyways, so I'm listening to my normal stuff, right? Clicking on some other videos, finding some different things to listen to, fill my mind up with some good stuff. So I wanted to share some things with you guys. So I had a conversation with someone yesterday. They're not really in a good place mentally, right? They're not in a good place mentally. Physically, they're great, right? But mentally, they're broken. They're not in a really good place. And so, they come to me and they're just like asking me for some advice, for some tips, some ways to just kind of get in the right place, right? And, after a while of listening to all the things that was going on in their life, it really just didn't seem all that bad. Like, they made it seem for it to be worse than what it really is. But that's what happens to us, right? When we're getting beat down, life's beating on us, or whatever the case may be, we make it more than what it really is. And so what I'm getting at with this is when we're kids, right? When we're teenagers, a little rebellious, whatever, a lot of us got a lot of that in us. We're not happy with the rules, right, that our parents give us. We feel constrained. We feel, shackled in a way. And we want to be free. We want to be free. But in order for us to live what we're living, we got to follow the rules. We don't follow the rules, what happens? We get kicked out, okay? Or at least for us, at least for me, that was the rule set for me. You don't like my rules, get out, okay? So that's a lot of parents. Your parents can only put up with so much crap from their kids when they're trying to help their kids be on the right path, and the kids are just not listening. It's one ear and out the other. But that's just kind of the normal routine, right? Like, kids just do those kind of things. Teenagers, I'm totally guilty of that myself, right? So what happens? You're not happy. When we're younger and we're at an age like that in our teenage years, we're just so rebellious. We want things our way. We don't want to be constrained. We don't want to be told what time to come home. We don't want to be told who we can and can't hang out with, who we can date, like who we can this, who we can that. So we move out. We pack our stuff up and we get out, right? It's not really the smartest decision, unless it just depends on what kind of conditions you are. But in my condition, I actually had it pretty good. It just, you're just at that age where you're just not really listening. You're not really thinking about the future and all that good stuff. So how does that relate to this individual in the place that they're in? They're in a place where these things are happening to them in their life, whether it's the decision making they're making, self-inflicted wounds, or just other people doing them wrong, other people talking about them behind their back, other people making them feel not worthy of their friendship, or whatever the case may be. Pack up and move, man. Get out of the place that you're in and go move somewhere else where it is better. Okay. There's a time and a place, right? Like when you're a teenage kid, depending on the circumstances. Okay. If you're in an abusive home, parents, domestic violence, that kind of stuff, maybe it is time to go. Maybe it is time to just get out and go get the heck out of that situation and get into a more healthy environment, right? Because I've had friends like that. I know people like that. But in some cases, most cases, it's really not that bad. Parents love you. They're trying to take care of you. You're just being a rebellious kid and not really trying to, you just want to go against the grain. Okay. You just want to go against the grain and just not follow any rules. And so, you get out, right? And now you're struggling. You're living on couches. You're moving from one place to another weekend after a weekend. After a while, that stuff just gets old and you realize, hey, look, maybe I should move back home. Maybe I should really get my stuff together and think this thing back over and reset, right? But that's not the case in a situation where your mind is mentally in a bad place. You're broken. You're beat up. You're down and out, and the people around you aren't really helping the situation. You need to pack up and move, man. Like, that was my advice to the individual yesterday, was like, why are you staying here? Why are you staying in this environment? Why are you staying in this mental space. Like I said, this individual's healthy. They're good, but mentally they are not in a good place. They need to move out. They need to get their stuff, pack up, and move out of that space mentally into a more healthy, positive mental space. How do you do that? My advice was, what are you listening to every single day? Are you listening to the radio every day? Who are you talking to every day? Who are you getting advice from? Are you getting advice from people that aren't doing what you want to do? Are those individuals struggling too? Are they in the same mental space that you are? Are they struggling the same way? You can't take advice from individuals like that. And that's one thing that we're all guilty of, is we go to the wrong people for advice. We go to the wrong things for help, the wrong people for help. How do you get the help, man? You got to go and put yourself around the people where you're trying to go to, where you're trying to get to. And you have to listen to the stuff every single day. So for the individuals that are catching these videos and whatever else they're listening to, I know you're moving forward. I know you're progressing forward. It's just one step at a time. But like I was telling this individual yesterday, like, I really don't listen to the radio anymore. This is how I am. Like, I grew up in, with the 90s music, rap and stuff like that. Like, the stuff nowadays is just garbage. So I don't listen to it. I can't stand it, right? So I'll listen to some sports radio a little bit throughout the day. But most of the time, like yesterday, I had tons of errands to do. I was all over town, right? Most of the time I was in my car yesterday after practice. So it was just a lot of just motivational stuff, business stuff, things that are just going to help put my mind in the right place. It's really, really hard to go to those other places, those dark places where your mind will take you sometimes when you're listening to the things that I'm listening to, man. Like, it's just, I've had, a lot of you reach out to me, hey, coach, like, can you share some videos? Can you share this? Can you share that? Yeah, absolutely, man. Inbox me, man. I'll shoot some of these things to you, what I listen to. And a lot of the stuff, what I'm listening to, I'm sharing with you. That's why I started doing these videos. It's like, this is really, really good stuff. Like, it's like keeping jiu-jitsu techniques to yourself as a coach, and you don't want to share the goodies, right? Like, you want to keep it away from other people so that they don't learn your tricks. Man, that's not how you grow. It's not how you get better, man. You go out there, you share the techniques, and then other people defend the moves, and you got to figure out a counter to it, right? And then get better. Same thing with this stuff. I share these things because it's like, man, this is too good of stuff to hold to myself. I gotta share it. And so you need to listen to less of the radio, watch less of the news. Now, I do watch the news. I try to keep up with everything that's going on. I own a business. I'm trying to figure out, what's the next move. What tomorrow could be something else, get shut down, whatever else. So I'm trying to stay on top of things. But obviously, most of the stuff on the news is poison. Okay, it's just poison. And stuff will just put you. It'll just bring you down. The radio will bring you down. Just things that just certain things. Like, I have people that are listening to a certain song, and like that, in a blink of an eye, man, they're just down and out because some slow song came on, or some song that reminded them of some other person they were with. And now one minute we're having a good time, the next minute, boop, they're gone. They're in this other dark place. And it's like, man, what happened? We're just having a good time, because you don't have control over your mind. This thing brought up a memory, a bad memory, and now you're going off into this other place, And every single day I struggle with this stuff like everyone else. I just try to put my stuff in order, and I try to put my mind somewhere else. I pack it up and I move to a better place. That's what I'm getting at. Like I said, why don't we act more like the rebellious kid that we were at one point? If that was you. If you weren't like that, then you probably don't understand. But if you were, then why are you settling for where you're at? When you were a kid, you're a teenager, you just had to get out. I can't wait to get out of my parents' house. I can't stand this anymore. I'm going to pack my stuff up and move. And like I said, most of the time that was a bad decision, because you don't know what the heck you're doing at 16, 17 years old, right? But you did it. Treat the situation that you're in, the mind space where you're at, the people that you're around, the things that are happening to you, treat it the same way. Like, man, just get the heck out of there and run. Like, put it somewhere else. It's a lot easier said than done, but like I said, how do you do that? You got to read every day. You got to listen to these things every day. The David Goggins, the Jocko thing, I relate to these guys so much because they run, they work out. Jocko does jiu-jitsu, so that, I connect with them more. But it's the things that they're saying, the things that they say every single day when I put this on. But it's up to me. The stuff is out there. It's floating around out there. A long time ago, before YouTube You know, when I was in my 20s, there was no YouTube. There was no Instagram with short little motivational videos. There was none of that. There was really no internet. There's no internet, you know. So for those of you that we're here now, man, this stuff is just, life is good. Life is good because we have these tools, these videos, these things to listen to, and it's not garbage. It's not motivation. It's just talking about, you know, self-discipline and putting yourself in the right place around the right people, doing the right things, so that every day you get stronger and you build up your mental game to where it just becomes really hard to get broken. Okay, so if that's you, you're in a bad place right now mentally. You got to pack up and move into a better place. Okay, you got to just stop. That was my thing with like the individual I was talking to yesterday. It was like, well, when's enough enough? Like, how long are you going to continue to just accept? Because that's what they're doing. They're accepting what's happening to them. They're accepting these things. Don't accept it anymore. Take what you're at right now. Pack things up mentally, okay? Not physically. They need to do the things physically too, but especially mentally, and get out. Like, pack your stuff up and move. Because at one point, you didn't want to be at home, so you packed up and you moved. You're not happy with where you're at right now. Pack your things up and then run and get the heck out of there, and never look back, and don't go back to those places where you're at, because it's not getting you anywhere. It's getting you sad. It's getting you depressed. It's getting you to the point where you don't want to do anything. You don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to work out. You just don't want to do anything. And that's obviously not a good place. That's not a safe place to be at. Over time, those things will take over you, and a lot of bad things happen. And obviously bad things are happening to this individual because they continue to stay in this place. They're accepting this place, and they're not taking the initiative to move out. You got to move out. You got to pack up, put everything in a box, man, and just get the heck out, and don't look back. So again, if that's you, you're going through some tough times, you're in a rough spot mentally, okay, or you're physically in a rough spot, you got to make those moves. You got to make that thing happen today, not tomorrow, not tonight, like right now. Right now is the time to where you just say, you know what, enough's enough. I had enough of this. I'm tired of feeling this way. I don't want to go through these feelings anymore. I don't want to deal with these people anymore. I don't want to deal with whatever it is that you're dealing with. You got to pack up and you got to move out, okay? That's the tip for today. That's the advice today. I've done it. You know, there's things where I just wasn't happy. So I moved, like physically moved, okay? I wasn't happy with my job. I quit it. And I did something else that I was happy with. I had friends that I didn't feel that really cared about me, or whatever. I wasn't really in their best interest. Got some new friends. Wasn't happy with whatever it was. I'm used to that now. I'm used to that now, where it's like, hey, I don't like where I'm at. It's time to go, man. It's time to pack up, move, and get to another spot and get there quick. All right. So you guys have a great day. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you on the next one. Pack up and move.